Welcome to the Art of Decluttering podcast. We're your hosts. I'm Kirsty from Feels Like Home Professional Organisers.
And I'm Amy Revell from Simply Organised. We can't wait to share with you all our tips and tricks to help you declutter and keep your home and family organised.
If you'd like to engage with the podcast further, you can find us at the Art of Decluttering on Facebook.
Let's get started. You've joined us for episode 18 of the Art of Decluttering. Today we'll be talking about decluttering and organising your gift cupboard, your gift cards, your gift wrap, and all things gifts.
Yay! It's my birthday coming up very, very shortly, listeners, so more than welcome to send me gifts. My birthday's on the 4th of November and I'll be turning 40. So
Yay, the big 40.
PM me, I'll send you my address.
I dare you to. Birthdays are so much fun. Are you a present kind of person, Kirst?
I love birthdays, and I love presents, and I love giving presents. So gift giving is my love language, one of my love languages.
Really?
Yes.
I probably should know that as one of your biz besties.
Yeah, well, now you do. You've got a couple of weeks to prepare.
You should probably know that I am totally not a gifts person.
Oh, well, that's fine.
Yeah, because you'll keep it for yourself because you'll be quite happy with that.
Yeah. I'm actually discovering the older I get that I'm actually more, I love the idea of gifts and the idea that people will put effort into thinking about who I am.
Yeah.
Not so much the actual gift that I get.
Interesting.
Like I love being thought of, but I'm sometimes underwhelmed by the actual gift. That sounds horrible.
Right.
But
would you prefer for people to give you a gift voucher? Is your mum or your husband or your sister listening to this, do you think? Okay, so I will speak on your behalf from the awkward silence. All friends and family of Kirsty, in the future, would you please buy her a gift voucher or give her cash because she doesn't like your presents?
No, actually, no. It's probably
the
opposite. I think there's absolutely a time and a place for gift vouchers. I think, though, too, that I find them quite unintentional sometimes. Does that make sense?
Yeah, right.
Like I don't feel like there's enough thought being put into a gift voucher sometimes, unless I've asked for it, like a gift voucher to a massage place. Hint,
totally
nudge, nudge, listeners. I love massages.
So let me just clarify, today's podcast is all about you seconding gifts from people, yeah?
Yep. So it is 12 days until my birthday. Plenty of time.
On the 12 days of Christmas, my true love sent to me.
No, on the 12 days of Kirsty.
Your true love did not send to you a gift voucher from
some random place. Coles Myer. Because we're more likely to go and buy groceries with that.
I know. I have to admit that on occasion I've been given a Coles Myer gift voucher and I've just bought the groceries because I couldn't be bothered finding something to spend money on for myself.
And that's totally, I am totally fine. If people actually ask me for a gift voucher, like to send a gift voucher, I'm more than happy to send a gift voucher to somebody. I'm more than happy to actually give that because that's what they've asked for. So
yes.
We have family and friends who absolutely love gift vouchers, and I will definitely do that for them because that's what they have specifically asked for. So I love being intentional.
What we want to talk to you about today is actually whether or not you keep a gift cupboard in your home, and if you keep gift wrap, gift cards, and how that kind of works in your home. Do you have a little section that is for gift wrapping? Do you keep just a few presents? Do you keep no presents? Are you a regifter or not a regifter? So many questions to get through today. So, Kirst, do you have a present box cupboard area in your home?
Yes, but it is very, very small, and actually it doesn't have a lot at all in it because I love, as I've mentioned, I love being intentional and thoughtful in my gift giving. So I always ask the person, what they would like for their birthday. And I will
Wow.
buy them what they actually want. Or, you know, if, like, for instance, kids' birthdays, like I will, you know, when I RSVP to the invitation, like we spoke about last week, I
Yeah.
will, in that RSVP, I will say, and what is your kid into at the moment? What would they like for
Ah,
their present?
that's a great idea.
And so when it comes to my friends, then I can obviously know them really well, and hopefully I buy to what they like. But I'm always open for them telling me what they'd like, and I'll often ask them, you know, what is it that you want this year? And the same with my family. Like, you know, when it comes to birthdays, I'm like, what is it that you need or you want this year? And then I'll buy that.
So what we do is a little bit different. We try and get the present as soon as, you know how we talked about last week where you reply to the invitation and all of that kind of thing. We try and get the present wrapped and everything done straight away. And the reason we can do that is we do have a present cupboard. And in the present cupboard is kind of one or two different items and multiples of them. And that's just how we do it. My kids like giving, you know, things that they love and that's important to them. So last year, my son, we bought Rubik's Cubes, which can be quite expensive when you buy them individually. And we found them at this boutique toy shop in Sorrento over the Christmas holidays. And I just fell in love with this particular one. And I thought, I can't really afford to buy them for all the kids this year. And so I went in and I said, could we do like a bulk purchase? And so I actually was able to buy 15 of this one item. And then my kids were able to give a gift we otherwise couldn't have afforded to the parties that they went to during the year.
I love that. I also love, what I love about that too is that all those kids in Jesse and Elijah's class all have the same, like all have similar presents that are like,
Yeah.
and everybody knows they're from Jesse and Elijah. That's so cute.
Yeah.
I love it.
It is kind of cute. The boys love doing that.
Okay, so you wrap the present as soon as it comes home or as soon as you get the invitation.
Yeah, and we decide what the gift is. And if we don't feel like there's a gift that's suitable for that particular child, then obviously we get to go to the shop. So how we do it, and every family does it differently, but we buy a gift based on a budget. So we have a particular budget for school birthday parties. And the kids can then pretty much go and do what they like with that and spend, you know, sometimes they get a whole lot of little things that they think their friend will love, and other times they'll get just one big thing. But I have to tell you, one of my favorite things ever is group presents, because I think you can get some really cool things when you put together in a group present. I don't necessarily do them for school birthday parties, but for my family, for Christmas and birthdays and that kind of stuff, 100% I'm all in for group presents, because I think you just end up getting some really cool presents that you wouldn't otherwise have been able to afford if it was just you going in on the gift.
I totally love that. I love experiences, and I love
Yes.
encouraging my the people that I work with to ask their family members, especially when I go into homes and they've got so many toys, and and I'm in there specifically to declutter toys. And often the people I work with are actually saying that a lot of the toys are coming from gifts for their birthdays and their Christmases and from family members. And so I always suggest, I should say, that instead of buying presents, ask your family members to buy experiences. And
That's the best.
especially, like, I have one client whose family members would take their girls every week. And one family member in particular was a single aunt, and she would buy a present for her nieces every single week. And I was like, so generous. What a beautiful,
Very
beautiful
generous.
aunt. And I suggested to my client that maybe she talked to her sister about saving up that money and buying experiences instead, like taking the kid to the zoo or buying a zoo pass. We have an indoor skydiving centre in Penrith up here in Sydney, and I think that's so cool. And
It's so
I would love to
cool.
do that. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge again for my birthday, peeps. I recommend doing stuff like that, because then instead of your house filling up with little Macca's toys and little, you know, Shopkins and tiny little things, and like, which is all well and good if that's what your children are into.
Yeah.
But if it's overwhelming for you, or when there's enough Shopkins in your house, can you tell I have a daughter? Then
Yeah, I've never had a Shopkins in my
yes.
life, but I know what they are because I help other people declutter them.
Yes, by experience. So I love that idea of group presents, and we do that for Christmases sometimes, and we definitely do it for teacher presents at the end of the year.
Oh, yeah, that's a great way to do it. And we always buy our teachers a red balloon voucher because teachers get, a significant amount of time over the school holidays when they can do those kind of things. It's always a nice way for us to say, well, this year when you're doing whatever, think of this class and we want to see a photo maybe of when you went skydiving or, because when lots of people put together, you actually end up with a decent amount of money.
It's awesome. Do you know what I love? This is digressing a little bit. Do you know what I love buying for? And it might sound, no, I love this. I just love it. I love buying teachers, particularly preschool teachers, because they get so many presents, and they're usually little things. And I found in my experience that we didn't necessarily do group buying presents for preschool teachers and daycare teachers. So what I buy them is actually like World Vision gift vouchers or tier vouchers.
I love that.
The gifts that you can give through some of those charities can often relate to schools. So it might be you're buying school supplies for kids
it's a great idea.
in Outback Australia, or you're actually purchasing the resources to train a teacher. And I know that some of the teachers that we've given that to have absolutely loved it, because they get so overwhelmed with chocolates and knick-knacky little teacher mugs and stuff that they've got a billion of, and they have all got such beautiful hearts too, that they love seeing that we've thought about other people who are less fortunate than them. So lovely. I love doing that as well.
That's a really great idea. I really like that as a gift. We do that for my dad every year. My dad has everything, needs nothing, wants something, buys it. Like, he's well established. And so we have a massive love for Kiva, which is where you can make small loans to business owners and families who then go and use that in entrepreneurial ventures. And so I totally love Kiva. And every year we buy my dad that. And it's perfect. He understands how hard work can really bring a family out of a difficult situation. But unless you have the capital to start something, it can be very difficult. So I love doing things like that. I think that's a really fun one, Kirsty. I might steal that for next year.
Go for it. Everybody steal it. Be generous to charities and be generous to teachers who don't necessarily need any more chocolates or any more teacher mugs.
No. Let me talk to you just for a moment about people that don't like presents. So my kids are not present kids. I've talked quite a few times about this at different places. When my eldest son was about 5, he refused to open his presents on Christmas Day because he kept saying to everybody that gave him a present, I already have too much stuff. I don't need more presents. And we had to say to him, buddy, just be grateful and say thank you and you can open it later. He took till mid-January to open all his Christmas presents. And that was when we first realized that he was not a present child. And so ever since, our tradition as a family is we do experiences like you were talking about. So the kids don't ask for any presents. They get to pick an experience and they do cool ones. Jesse this year went, it's not rock climbing. He went up in this high ropes course up in the top of trees in Belgrave in Victoria.
Treetop adventures.
That's the one. My son went swimming with dolphins for his birthday. Like, they do really cool things. And when you don't have to buy all the toys, you'd actually be amazed what you can get that are great experiences out there. So don't feel bad if you don't have kids that want presents. I used to feel bad, but we still have to get them something. So now we just get them a couple of books and their experience, and it's the best.
Awesome. Do you regift?
I used to be a regifter, and then I discovered that if I didn't like it, I probably wasn't going to regift it because I wouldn't want to give something to someone that I didn't like. And so theoretically I would regift, but I haven't in a very, very long time.
See, I've got no issues with regifting because sometimes the gifts that you get other people would really love. It's like
Correct.
decluttering, really, when you let go of something and you give it to an op shop because somebody else will find a purpose and a use for it. It does not have to live in your house.
The one thing that we do regift without really any qualms is when the kids get a double of something at their birthdays.
Yes.
So it used to happen a lot with Lego because Lego releases certain sets at certain times. You know, kids would go to the shops and they had their $20 to spend and they'd buy the same set of Lego. And so we would just simply regift the second set. We wouldn't try and take it back and get a replacement. My kids were always just happy to pop it in the box and then they would give it to someone else when their birthday rolled around.
Did you ever give it back to the person who gave it to you?
Not that I know of, but who knows?
Because that's the only problem with regifting, isn't it? Is having to keep
It's
track
true.
of who gave it to you so that you don't give it back to them.
You don't want to do that. Or you could just do I loved it so much, I thought that you'd love it too.
So we have actually taken Lego back to Big W and said, hey, we got this as a birthday present. Can we just go and exchange it for the same price?
Yeah, awesome.
But that's because my kids actually really love gifts and I'm not like Jessie and Elijah who are happy to let it go.
Yeah.
Or we have...
My kids would quite happily give away their presents.
Yes, or
quite happily.
The alternative is that we'll go, okay, mate, that costs $20. We'll give you $20 and we'll put this in the regifting pile so that we can give it to other kids, but you still get something for that gift.
Something for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's not say that to my children because they may comment onto that because I had not thought of that before and they'd certainly not thought of it. We might just keep it how it is.
More from us in just a few minutes. Don't forget to visit our website, theartofdecluttering.com.au, and sign up for our bonus episode that's not so secret anymore. We've done episodes on linen cupboards, toys, wardrobes, pantries, jewellery, and so many more. So if you're new to the art of decluttering, you'll find loads of great tips like this one from the episode we did on entryways.
We keep hooks right next to our door for our keys so that coming and going we put our keys straight away. So if you haven't got somewhere to store your car keys, you can go as simple as what Kirsty was saying, and that's just putting a basket somewhere near the door or on top of something that you know where it is, and just make sure they always go in there. And for us, that's just hanging them up near the door.
And now back to the podcast for so many more tips and tricks.
I was going to ask you, Kirst, do you keep gift cards in your home for the moments when you're going to a party or just because cards?
No.
You're not a gift carderer?
Do you mean like gift vouchers or cards?
No, I mean like cards.
Oh,
yeah, cards.
Yes, we keep cards. Not very many of them though, because we're not huge lovers of cards in our family. So
they just want the presents, people. They just want the presents.
But I'm happy. Do you know, I would love, though, from all you listeners, handwritten notes to say how much you love me on my birthday.
Oh, you're hilarious.
I'm totally joking, peeps. Totally joking.
Jokes, not jokes. We keep a whole box of cards that sits near our front door, and it's got wrap in there as well. And I'm actually surprised how often my husband goes in there and uses them. So I've bought quite a lot of masculine ones because Cal's a real words person and words are hugely important to him. So if he's going to a mate's, birthday dinner or a barbie or something and he's taking a bottle of wine, he will always write a card. And that's really important to him. And if he's giving a gift to someone, or he's just a card writer, even if he just wants to encourage someone, he'll write them a card, which I just think is lovely. And so by having cards available that he can just grab, and then the kids' cards and more women-y cards that I can grab makes us, use them more often. I used to keep a box of cards in my car, and the idea behind that was that I wanted to be someone who wrote gift cards and encouragement cards, and so if I arrived anywhere early or did something like that, I could actually write a card, I would mail it right there and then, and it was just a good habit for me to get into.
So, Cal and Amy, 4th of November.
4th of November. Cal can write you a card. I'll send you a experience. I'll re-gift something for you.
Lego.
Yeah, a Rubik's Cube this year. Yeah, I love it.
So wrapping paper and are you like go all out wrapping? Like, do you do ribbons and fancy stuff, or do you just wrap it?
I don't even wrap it often. I'm a gift bag person. I'm a total gift bag person because you can reuse them, and I just hate taking wrapping paper off gifts. I'm like, just no, I don't want to unwrap a gift.
Fair enough.
So I let the kids unwrap presents when they come, but I'm a total gift bagger. And so we don't keep a lot of wrapping paper in the house, but I would say we probably have 30 gift bags that are sitting there ready to use at any given moment.
Wow. I think I need to come and declutter your house.
The gift bags have been awesome because you've got big ones right down to little ones, wine ones, and they just sit in underneath the cards because they're flat packed. They actually take very little space, and so I think it's a good little solution, even if you don't, Kirst.
I know. I think it's a great solution if you are a gift bag person. I have been in so many homes that want to be gift bag people, but actually are wrapping people. So they hoard gift bags when actually they wrap presents. And I have been guilty of that in the past too. And so when I realised, actually I much prefer wrapping a gift, then let me get rid of all those bags and just keep like one or two.
Oh, that's great.
And let go of the rest. But so I think that totally works for you, Amy, because you are a bag family.
I'm the bag lady.
We are a wrapping family, and we have actually...
Watch.
What?
Did you like that, friends? I was doing a wrap for you.
Oh,
you said we're a wrapping family.
I totally didn't get that.
My sense of humour is peaking at the moment, you see.
I think our listeners would laugh along with you. I just, however, was in a different zone and didn't get you. Right. So we have a box in our spare bedroom that the wrapping paper sits in so that it is contained and they don't fall all over the place, which is what I totally recommend. Well, one solution that I recommend for wrapping paper.
Yeah.
And I love wrapping, but I don't love fancy ribbons and stuff. So again, we were keeping ribbons because I thought I was that type of person. And I'm not that type of person. My sister-in-law is a beautiful that type of person. She recycles everything that she gets, and she repurposes them. Like she recycles wrapping paper and repurposes them and makes it beautiful again. Me, not so much. So I think that it's really important to figure out what type of person you are. Because then it will stop you from collecting stuff that you're not. So if you're not a ribbons person, let go of those ribbons. If you're not a bags person, let go of those bags. If you're not a wrapping person, let go of all that wrapping. And if the wrapping is squished and bent and broken and torn, let that wrapping paper go.
Same with the bags. Just because the bag's handles still work, but it's all scrunched up and ripped, just stop. It's not pretty. It's not nice. Don't be that person.
Don't be that person.
Please don't.
So, anything else that we have left to talk about? Oh,
around wrapping. Yeah. Oh,
I remembered.
Tell me.
Really, while I'm on this ranty rant about don't be that type of person. Don't be that type of person.
Is it your birthday?
Oh, have I mentioned that it's my birthday in 12 days' time?
No.
Ranty rant. I'm getting ranty.
Rant. Go.
I love people who are generous. I love people who have gift cupboard or a gift box, who really think that they are gift people. I love it. However, I really want you to think about whether or not you are that type of person, or if you are just storing gifts for that certain one day that never ever occurs. For instance, do you have baby presents but have no friends who are anywhere near having babies? In fact, the next people who are going to have babies are your children. Don't be holding on to those baby presents. Let those presents go.
Good advice. So many people do that.
Yes. So give them to the op shop, and when your children have babies, go and buy beautiful grandparent gifts For
next decade, when you actually need them,
yes.
there is such a temptation to put so many things in your gift box as you're decluttering. And so I guess what
Yes.
Kirsty's saying, and what I would agree, is really be careful about what you put in the gift box, because if you don't think you can give that away in the next 12 months, I don't think it should go in the gift box. I think it needs to go to the op shop and get a second life there.
Yes, and there is always that, guilt that you feel about letting something go, but that you might actually need one day. But are you actually going to need it? Are you actually going to be that person? Are you going to remember that you have those gifts?
No, that's
because
right.
often when a gift cupboard, gift box, gift place gets so full, you forget that you have baby socks in the back of that cupboard that you could give to that next baby who comes along. And so you end up going out and buying a beautiful another gift, and you don't use it. So it stays there for another 5 years until somebody else has a baby, and you forget again because you've never seen it.
Yeah, that's right. No, I love that, Kirst. I think that's really, really solid advice.
So do you have a process of going through your gift cupboard? Like, for instance, did you use all of those Rubik's Cubes that you got, or have you still got some Rubik's Cubes?
Yeah, so we have one plastic container in the top of my wardrobe. It's opaque, so the kids can't see in it, which means I can put their presents in there too if we ever have presents for them. And it's not huge, so we can't keep a lot in there. And we don't buy the next round until the present box is completely empty.
Excellent.
So that's our rule. That's our rule. Once it's completely empty, then yes, we can start to build things up again. And we've got friends at school who do it a good way. Once they buy one present for someone, they buy a second as a backup that goes in the present cupboard. And that's kind of like just their double up way of doing it. But to be honest, as kids get older, like mostly now, Jesse's friends, he's in grade 5. What they're mostly wanting is Rebel vouchers.
Yes.
And so, like they're not into Lego anymore, but vouchers are becoming the thing, which is cool. And I'm totally happy to do that.
And that's the other problem that I see with gift cupboards is that, for instance, Shopkins are all the rage, but they may not be the rage in 6 months' time. So if you've stockpiled on Shopkins, by the time more birthdays come around or Christmas comes around, they're not the in thing anymore. And so
That's really good.
Trendy kids who are on trend are like, oh, Shopkins are so 2017 and I'm already in 2018. Please, peeps. So I think it's really helpful to be thinking, to not over stockpile and not not be intentional and thoughtful about what is in your gift pile. And
you're not a squirrel. Stop acting like one. That's my advice for today. So much grace and love in that statement. You're not a squirrel. Stop acting like one.
So I can't wait to hear what the listeners buy me for my birthday.
Oh dear, Kirsty, I'm not even sending you a card anymore. You've pushed it.
I know. I think I've just mentioned my birthday just one too many times. I am really excited about turning 40. I'm not fearful. I'm excited, and I cannot wait for the next decade of my life. I can't wait to see.
And you've got a really amazing trip planned, don't you?
We do. We are going on a cruise to the South Pacific, so I'm very excited. So, yay.
Brilliant. Well, thank you, friends and listeners, for joining us today and having a laugh with us and talking all things gifts. We hope that this week you will take some advice and some tips and tricks and go and declutter your cards, your gift wrap, your gift bags, and potentially declutter your gift cupboard or your gift box as well.
We can't wait to interact with you and engage with you online this week when I'm sure Amy will mention that it's my birthday coming up.
Maybe she won't.
Maybe she
won't.
And I'm sure she'll have some cool memes about squirreling things away or not being a squirrel and all the other things that we've laughed about today. I hope you've laughed along with us, and I hope that you are inspired to be very thoughtful and intentional about the gifts that you give from here on in. We hope you have a beautiful week, and we can't wait to hang out with you again next week.
See you later.
Bye. Thanks for joining us.
If you've learned something awesome today, do a girlfriend a favour and share this episode so she too can learn the art of decluttering.
You can find me, Amy, over at simplyorganised.net or on Facebook at simplyorganisedpo.
You can find me, Kirsty, over at feelslikehome.net.au or on Facebook as Feels Like Home PO. Don't forget, you can see the show notes in your podcast app, so if there's anything you want more information on, then check it out there. If you love what you hear, we would really appreciate you leaving a review on iTunes, and you can always subscribe to us.
We hope you've enjoyed listening and that you've learned some great tips and tricks to help you declutter and keep your home organised. We hope you have a great rest of your day and enjoy the freedom.